Hello and welcome in, you guys, to the post-game show for Chapter 1127. We're here to read through the comments from the full spoiler video and to see what caught your guys' attention in regards to the latest chapter of One Piece. So with that being said, let's get this started. Alright, so the first comments we have this week are actually about me, and it's really sweet that you guys say these things. The first one says, Sai is also known as Saint Sai, the Minister of Spoilers. And hey, I'm a big fan of the Celestial Dragons, right? If we get more characters like Garlic and the Gorosei, sure, I'm a Celestial Dragon. I'll wear that badge with pride. And also, to spin this into more like relevant topics as well, have you guys seen the Season 2 set of the One Piece live action? Because there's actually a building called the Man Meyer Outlet or the Man Meyer Shop. I'm kind of forgetting which one it was, but yes, that is a call through to the Man Meyer family, who was shown during the God Valley flashback. Sai is the guy I go to for spoilers. I actually didn't believe in spoilers until I started watching Sai. Also, I like his dark humor. Hey, thank you again. Like I said, I appreciate all the kind words. Alright, so this comment says, Chopper might be somewhere where he is being worshipped, since it seems like the animals on the island are gods. Yes, I entirely agree with this notion here. And what makes this even more substantial is that in Norse mythology, reindeers actually are celebrated. They are seen as deities in a way. I'm going to butcher this entirely until I look at it later, but if I recall correctly, reindeers usually exist at the top of the Yggdrasil tree, and it's like, yo, maybe Chopper's already at the Yggdrasil tree. And since, you know, Luffy and the group aren't exactly looking for Chopper, necessarily, they're just going to stumble upon him when they go to that massive damn tree. So yeah, I think that's really good. I'm excited to see some Chopper glow up. Maybe he'll even learn something about his devil fruit or, you know, his blue nose while he's there. Because you gotta admit, Chopper's backstory is a little bit interesting. And outside of the backstory, there's the Kureha connection, there's the weird Santa Claus thing that he had going on for a minute, and there's even his devil fruit. Like, I feel like if Oda wanted to expand on the Straw Hats, and Chopper specifically, he totally could. Oda has left a lot of things like that open-ended for a lot of the Straw Hats, just so that he could come in and add things in whenever he wants, and hopefully Chopper gets some of that love, right? And below that comment, though, it says that Yggdrasil is probably what the giants call the tree. The Atom Tree is probably what the rest of the world calls it. And I like that reasoning. And as far as Yggdrasil versus Atom Tree goes, there are still a couple of things that I'm curious about, right? Like, silhouettes don't have to match one-to-one, but we have seen the base of the tree, and it's not as spirally as the Yggdrasil we see in this chapter. So there are some things that do make me wind that back a little bit. Like the fire comment, for example, right? When you think about the Atom Tree, it can survive cannonballs, cannon fire. So why would a forest fire put it in danger? You know, maybe there's more here than meets the eye. You know, maybe like it can catch fire, but you know, impactful blows like cannonballs don't hurt it. I don't know. But yeah, I like this reasoning a lot. TLDR. It could just be that the Atom Tree is what everybody else calls it. And hey, there's the Eve Tree up at Marie-Joie. Maybe they're the ones who named it the Atom Tree, and the Giants don't like that. You know, they want to call it by its OG name, which is Yggdrasil. So far, Elbaf feels like a pre-time skip arc, and I love it. Me too. I love the sense of adventure. You know, I love Robin, Frankie, Brooke, and Jinbei as much as the next guy, but I do think there is something special about the first 6 Straw Hats we recruited into the crew. So seeing them adventuring here, it feels great. I personally would have liked it if Robin also tagged along, because I am a big Robin fan. But yeah, all in all, from the designs to the outfits to the giant wacky animals and us not knowing how the hell we got here, it does feel like a pre-time skip arc. I mean, even the comedy hit, right? Usopp being knocked out, Nami thinking he's dead, you know, using him as a shield, and then Nami's face being like superimposed in the Usopp panel where he gets smacked. There's so many things about this chapter that really did fill me with nostalgia. You know, I've been reading One Piece ever since Skypiea was going on, so, you know, this does take me back to the day one days for me. So the comment right below that quotes something I said. I said, one god beats another god. Wait a minute, Sai. You might have struck gold here. And I could see that being played out in different ways, right? Maybe you're referring to Luffy beating the celestial dragons, which are also considered gods. But as far as like the whole ear god dying thing, right? Because I talked about that maybe being a point of contention here in Elbaf. Maybe the ear god is worshipped and Luffy just committed a taboo. You know, he just committed a crime by eating it. And then Luffy also wants to eat the cat in this chapter. So maybe that's another taboo or another sin on Luffy's resume. But the minute they find out that he's the sun god, I don't think they're gonna care that much, right? Because it's just natural selection at that point. And plus, Elbaf is a land of warriors. Technically, the cat and the ear god lost the war, right? But then again, you know, they do look at Big Mom and she's a monster because she ate her family, so maybe not. Yeah, that's a good point. I just thought about that. Big Mom, yeah, she ate people, and they didn't like that. But then again, you know, it's different between eating giants and eating people in comparison to eating animals. Yeah, it's so weird. We don't know how Elbaf works, man. We don't know how they're structured, what the people believe in. And that's why I think Elbaf, again, going back to the previous comment, that's why I think it's a lot of fun. Because there's that sense of adventure there, right? We don't know what the hell's going on. It's a brand new culture. I still feel like the Hangover plot is still possible, and they've been there for some time already. They just have to find out what they did in that void day. And I completely agree. We don't know the exact time frame of when they like started hallucinating and passed out, but it's been 2 days since they left Egghead. So yeah, I do think that the Straw Hats probably spent a solid at least 24 hours on Elbaf doing wacky shenanigans, you know, maybe fighting Mike Tyson's tiger, you know, getting married. I feel like there's going to be a lot of weird things we're going to learn about when it comes to that void day. And I completely agree with you. I think this is a Hangover plotline, and I think that's a lot of fun. Because Oda, at any point in time, can just bring in a random joke, saying, hey, you're that guy who was, I don't know, sucking the toes of my great aunt the other day, and they're looking at Luffy, and then in Luffy's mind, he was like eating a giant piece of meat, right? So yeah, I think there's a lot of comedic bits that could come out of this Hangover plotline, and it does seem like an Oda thing to do if you've ever read his SBSs or, you know, followed his interviews. Oda's a crazy guy. So yeah, him doing a Hangover plotline makes sense to me. Down below, they say 538 Rumble, question mark, Ear God, question mark. It sounds like Enel. Yeah, no, I was there with you, man. Like, when I first heard of the term Ear God, I was like, yo, it's Enel. It's gotta be him. And then, of course, I was disappointed when I read later that it was referring to a rabbit. But yeah, Enel, a lot of people are banking on him making a comeback here in Elbaf. You know, I've seen theories of people saying that maybe Yggdrasil goes all the way up to the clouds. There's Burka up there. You know, that's where Enel was maybe born. Maybe Enel will, you know, bring his skyship down from the moon. Like, there's a lot of things with Enel. And while they all sound very crazy, right? If somebody says Enel's coming down from the moon, you're going to call them crazy. But here's the thing. At some point in the story, Enel will make a comeback. Oda has talked about this guy to death. Oda gave them such relevant plot points when it comes to the ancient weapons and the moon race. Like, there's no way he doesn't come back. So it's really just a matter of when. And I always say that for Enel, for Scopper, for, you know, Gold Roger's flashback, Joy Boy, all these other characters, like, they will appear in the story later. It's just when. So yeah, Enel making a weird appearance here. I'm honestly down for it. We just have to make it make sense. Holy crap, you guys won't believe it. Right below this comment about Enel, we have another Enel comment. I'm not even joking. This, look at this. A match made in heaven. I really hope the Yggdrasil tree reaches what was once Burka. Give me Enel versus Mad Monk Arouge. Enel's former 5th priest theory. So I'm not familiar with this theory. As far as Enel versus Arouge, I'm gonna say it right here, brother. I hate to burst that bubble, but I think Enel takes it. There's no way Arouge would beat Enel. Are you kidding me? Even with hockey, you know, give Arouge everything. Give him Conquerors, give him Ryuo, Advanced Observation. There's no way he's beating Enel. The problem with Arouge, and if you guys play like any games or, you know, any strategy RPGs, you know that the worst ability that you could give a character is an ability where they get stronger or get stats based off of them getting hit in the process. A Rouge has that problem. For a Rouge to get stronger, he needs to get hit. He's like Bergamo out of Dragon Ball Super. And you guys know how that went. You know, Goku just kept on hitting him. Bergamo had to stop at some point because he capped out. And that's pretty much how I feel about a Rouge. You know, the minute Enel comes back here and he hits him with, 2 billion volts, a Rouge is done. Maybe he gets back up once, but, he's not. I can't see a Rouge winning. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't see the Rouge hype. I think a Rouge is really hype when it comes to his backstory and, what he could provide to the plot later down the road. But as far as feats go, physical feats, there's no way. And I think Oda kind of knows this with the supernova. Like when you think about the supernova right now, right? When we got to Wano, Apu, trash. Hawkins, trash. X-Drake, trash. And I want to be very, nice when I say trash as well, because they're still stronger than a lot of people out there. But in comparison to Luffy, right? In comparison to Kid or Law or Zoro, they're not exactly there. And then we met Bonnie. Bonnie was the next supernova we met. Bonnie, she's like somewhere in the middle. But she has a gimmick, right? She has a gimmick, and her powers allow her to take on the Sun God Nika form. So it doubles as not just attack power, but also as lore power as well, in a sense. So that's kind of where I think a Rouge is going to fall. I don't think he's going to be, top of the brass, ready to fight Lightning God Enel anytime soon. But I think his powers, or whatever he believes in, I think it's going to be more lore heavy, kind of like Bonnie, than anything else. Sorry, I'm giving really long-winded answers, man. I'm just really talkative tonight. Okay, we got a big one here. So, I don't know if anyone else has thought about this, but I've noticed that there has been little to no mention of Chopper. I think Chopper is in a different part of Elbaf, more specifically with Prince Loki, because of him being a deer. Since Elbaf is so heavily inspired by Viking culture - Norse mythology, Oda probably wants to refer to the fact that deer are heavily revered in that culture. So maybe Chopper is just chilling with the royalty of Elbaf. I love this. This is what I was trying to explain earlier, but you explained it way better. Yes, deer are considered royalty, deities. I think Chopper is going to have his time to shine here. And the thing is that if there are other reindeers in Elbaf, maybe we're going to see the opposite of what we saw on Drum Island. On Drum Island, you had a bunch of red-nosed reindeers, or, reindeers that just look normal, right? And Chopper was exiled because he had a blue nose. Imagine if that's the opposite here on Elbaf. Instead of people looking at his blue nose and thinking that he's a freak, an abomination, an ugly creature that belongs in the trash, no, what if they look at Chopper and they say, dude, this guy has a blue nose. That's awesome. He has a blue nose? That is rare. He's the blue-nosed god, right? So yeah, I think Chopper could get a lot of things here. I'm a big proprietor that a lot of the Straw Hats have room to grow on Elbaf, not just Usopp, but I think Nami, I think Chopper, I think Frankie, maybe even Jinbei, right? Because there's giant fish here, put the Deep in here from the boys and the Deep's gonna go crazy. Put Jinbei in here? My God, who knows what that guy can do. So yeah, I'm really excited. I love that you explained it here better than I did. And going on to the last thing you say that rabbits are revered as well in Norse mythology. They are associated with the moon. So maybe we get a short fight because of Luffy eating the ear god. I'd like that. And, rabbits also tie in with Chinese mythology and even Japanese mythology. A lot of Eastern mythologies love the rabbit moon connection. I don't know how that happened. One culture doing it, sure. Multiple cultures? Crazy. Would be hilarious if this turns into The Hangover and they have to piece together what they did when they were drunk. Watch Chopper still be drunk, LMAO. Funny enough, now that we're talking about The Hangover a lot, Oda, in the most recent few SBSs, he gave us a tier list on which Straw Hats are the best drinkers. And believe it or not, Chopper was near the bottom of that list. So yeah, Chopper could still be drunk. And below that comment, they say that Kaido-Orochi kidnapped the Wano citizens to use them as hostages. Yes, that was in the past, though. That's the main thing, right? Kaido and Orochi kidnapped people in the past. As far as the present goes, Orochi's dead. There's no way Orochi's still alive. And then as far as Kaido goes, I feel like this is my own headcanon, but I feel like Kaido's too prideful to take hostages in this manner, right? So I don't think it's Kaido doing it. I don't think it's Orochi, because, yeah, he's dead. I like Big Mom more in this scenario. And outside of Big Mom, it could even be the Tobi Roppo, because we don't know where they are, right? When Aramaki showed up, Green Bull, he took down King, Queen, Babanuki, and a bunch of fodder. But we didn't see Jack. We didn't see the Tobi Roppo. So there's a chance it could be them, unless they were like completely off-screened. But yeah, I like the option of Kaido, though. I think it is important to keep Kaido in the back of our minds, because, you know, as we move forward in the story, we'll get more about God Valley, we'll see more about Kaido, and if he's still alive, then, you know, maybe we'll see him in the future with Pluton, since he got knocked into a volcano, and that volcano, like, goes down into the depths of Wano, and that's kind of nearby where Pluton is. And there's a lot of interesting things here. Like I said, Oda has a lot of leeway when it comes to what he can and can't do in the story, man. Yggdrasil in Norse mythology is a sacred tree which is associated with life and death. Also, everything exists around it, included the 9 realms. So what's cool about this is, you know, I haven't talked about this yet, but there could be a chance that there are 9 different towns in Elbaf, and the town we're in is the Legoland aspect of it, right? Because, you know, going back to Elbaf, people often call it Warland. Maybe Warland is like one city of Elbaf, and then we have Netherland over there, Legoland over there. You know, we could have 9 lands to connect with the 9 realms in Norse mythology. I totally think that's what Oda could be doing here, and it would be like a, not a callback, but like a throwback to Wano, right? When we got to Wano, we just assumed it was a flower capital, but of course, there's like, you know, there's Curry, there's Okobore Town, there's Amigasu Village, there's like all these different towns in Wano, so I think it'll be the same thing here in Elbaf, where we get different lands, and it's supposed to represent the 9 realms. Like maybe there's an Iceland. Oh, Iceland. Iceland, Greenland. Yeah, wait. Yeah, Oda could actually bring those in, right? Iceland, Greenland, Warland, Legoland. All we need now are like 5 more lands, and we got the whole thing filled out. But yeah, that is why I like that comment a lot. Thank you, thank you. Right below, they say, I can tell this arc is going to be something special. 1. Luffy is already taken down some Elbaf gods. I think something like a internal conflict will start between some giants and Luffy. That is true. You know, maybe somebody liked the ear god a lot. Maybe the ear god was even a pet, right? If I came home one day and a stranger showed up and they killed my pet, I'm killing the stranger. Like, hey, no holds barred, dude. What the hell? You killed the ear god? You ate him? What? Why did you do that? The giants. Forcing the title of god upon Luffy won't sit well with him, as he doesn't want to be a god or hero. So maybe some giants will start to resent him as a false god. That could be the case here. We also have the, you know, the fake sun god being a thing. So maybe Luffy and the other god will become friends. Maybe it'll be like a Hercules king situation from One Punch Man, right? Where you have these, quote, champions, but in reality, they're not champions and other people do the work for them. Maybe that's what's happening here. Maybe Luffy does want to be called the sun god, and the other sun god's like, hey, I'll take all the credit. You know, you keep doing you, Luffy, I'll take the credit. I think that could be the case, but of course, that is a lot of, you know, narrative jumping right there. 2, kicking off the arc with the original East Blue 5 is a perfect way to start. I wonder if Oda started to feel nostalgic after working on the live action. That is 100% the case, in my opinion. And you know why it's the case? It's because shortly after the live action aired, and, you know, Oda was doing a bunch of color spreads with the OG villains of the East Blue Saga, like Captain Kuro, Don Krieg, and all those guys, what we got a couple chapters afterwards was Don Krieg and Hachinosu. So yeah, I think Oda is moved by nostalgia when it comes to the final arc, which is a good thing. You know, a lot of people love early One Piece. Not like new One Piece is bad, but, you know, people have fond memories of the past. So having Oda bring back all those feels good. 3, Yggdrasil. Hopefully, we can see some other sub-races of giants, like, oh, elves or dwarves. That's not bad. Yeah, I think that could be a lot of fun, actually. I do like the elf route a lot. You know, maybe the elves live on top of Yggdrasil. I don't know how that works in mythology, but that could be the case. And as far as sub-races of giants go, we have the Yeti Cool Brothers, who are a subset of giants. We don't exactly know what kind of giants, but yeah. We have the Yeti Cool Brothers. We also have the Wotans, which are the giant-fishman hybrids. So yeah, I hope we get more things like that. Maybe each land or realm of Elbaf has different types of giants. Like, for example, we could have ancient giants being a thing, like Ors. Maybe we'll see some of his descendants here as well. I think Oda could go absolutely crazy with that. And now they finish off the comment by saying, I wonder if we learn about the Buccaneers' origins from Elbaf being a subclass of giants. I guess they could be considered the dwarves when you compare their size to Dory and Brogy. Yeah. And, you know, speaking of dwarves, I wonder what Tontatas would be like here in Elbaf. Dude, you wouldn't be able to see those guys, man. The minute you let the Tontata in, it'd be like an invisible enemy. Yeah, dude, Tontatas would destroy the country. All right, so these are the last two comments I'm going to end off on. Kind of a shorter video today. I apologize for that. But I have some things in the oven that I have to take care of. And I can smell it burning from over here. So we're going to end off with these. This comment says, that's not a sword with Sanji. It's a knife to cook up some big ol' animals. I like that. And that would explain why Zoro hasn't stolen it yet, right? Because I just think back to Wano, and the minute Zoro saw the sword on Luffy's back, he's like, hey, Luffy, give me that sword. You know, I gotta check that one out. I wonder if he's done that with Sanji yet. I think that would be kind of funny. And below, they say Oda is cooking in Elbaf. And that equates to, yeah, let's just set it on fire. Just like my oven. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much for all of your comments and kind words. I really freaking appreciate it. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. And take care. I'll see y'all when the next spoilers drop. And yeah, peace out, guys.